Um, so this is what we'll do. We're going to talk about the benefits of asking for help. Because if you saw in my email blast yesterday, most of us we all want to help each other, but we're really bad at asking for help. And so this activity is meant to point that out to us, but also to talk about what the benefits of asking for help are, both to ourselves and to our organization. And then the Reciprocity Ring Givitas platform. So there is this online platform that we're going to introduce you to, and it's a place to post your requests for help, and then for others to respond with offers of help. So we're going to talk about the research, we're going to show you that platform, and then we're going to practice asking for help. And we'll reflect at the end to see what you thought about it all. Anything else you want to add, Elena? Please jump in whenever. Any questions, anyone?
Got it. I feel like there's a lot of looking good. Okay, we'll go next.
Okay, so Elena, do you want to start with this one?
Sure. I thought this slide looks like the overview. My connection's unstable.
Okay,
right.
So
here we go. So, it says asking for help. So we're going to begin today's presentation with a quote from Dr. Wayne Baker, and he's a professor from the University of Michigan's Ross Business School. And he says that asking for help is often the one simple act standing between us and success. I'm sorry if it got robotic. You you can read the quote. Go to the next slide, please.
I could hear you. I could hear you fine.
Okay. So asking for help is hard, and this slide outlines several reasons why. And I'm sure most of us can relate to at least one of these bullet points. And you can think of a time when we didn't ask for help, that we needed help because of one or more of these reasons. And, how many emails do we get asking for help or asking for volunteers, right? And it's harder to ask and harder when someone wants help and doesn't know how to ask. We'll go to the next slide. So even though asking for help can be difficult, it has many proven benefits to us as individuals. And you may think right here, you're like, wait a minute, Elena, I ask for help all the time. I'm the askingest pigeon in town. I ask everyone. So you might be asking the wrong way. And that's the idea. We're going to show you how, right, today. So it has many proven benefits, and you will increase your knowledge and solve problems more quickly and efficiently than if you had done it on your own. And you're going to create a high quality connection. You can boost your career. You'll be happier and more satisfied in your work with your colleagues. Lastly, a number of medical studies have shown that asking for help actually improves your own mental and physical health. Kind of awesome, right? Next page. So while there are many individual benefits, there are also many benefits for the team and organization. And by participating in the ring, a few of the most important ones, real life is happening over there in my living room. A few most important ones are improved knowledge sharing, stronger connections, a stronger culture of giving, greater cross collaboration, and positive business outcomes like increased, ROI and efficiency. And for us, it will lead us to create and build that team, which we're so proud of. So we always say, Pac Familia, as our familia grows, you need to bring people into the culture of which we need to make sure is strong. So next. And this is a fact. Most people are willing to help you. And the vast majority of giving in the workplace is in response to requests for help. But as we've just learned, most people aren't very good at asking for what they need. And most of the time, nothing happens. We're not creating those high quality connections. You might pass someone in the hall and say like, hey, can you give me the name of that person who you used for those t-shirts? And they'll say, sure. Yeah, I'll give it to you. No deadline, no follow-up. And then, you know, no one gets further ahead. So we're not creating a high quality connection there, although you are asking and they are willing, right? Not working as efficiently as we can. But, you know, we can learn how to fix it. That's our dilemma. And here's the solution. It's how do we solve it, right? We're going to conduct this reciprocity ring today, and we're not just going to talk about it. But this is a guided collaboration exercise, and it generates those high quality connections and strengthens the networks that we already have, but it builds social capital. And together, we want to create that sense of mutual accomplishment, recognize important contributions and engagement, and expose you to the depth of resources that is actually available among your colleagues. It will reduce that silo effect. It will help us do cross-collaboration, truly cross-collaborate across campus. So we'll go to the next slide. And what are we talking about with human capital and social capital? Well, we know that with human capital, it is the sum of our own knowledge, our skills, our strengths, our expertise, and what we have learned in school and in life. And social capital really refers to the resources available in and through our personal and business networks. And these resources include information, ideas, business opportunities, financial capital, power and influence, emotional support, even goodwill, trust, and cooperation, which to me is arguably the basic tenets of social capital. So your social capital is dependent on the size, the quality, and diversity of your personal and business networks. In the reciprocity ring exercise, we will expand and increase our social capital as the people in this room tap into their network and this network right here, right now, and share these connections with us.
So I also have real life going on here too. Thank you. There is a large amount of academic research to support the benefits of generalized reciprocity back and forth, asking for and giving help. And there's also data to highlight the global success of this exercise, the reciprocity ring. A typical group of 24 participants in about 2.5 hours, what they've discovered is can generate a cost savings of between $150,000 and $480,000 for the organization. And it could save as much as 1,600 hours of time because we're helping each other, therefore making our work more efficient. There are lots of organizations that have taken part in the reciprocity ring, many universities and many big businesses that we've all heard of. Even the CIA has taken part in this.
Yeah. So if we were to have, you know, what would this look like? Here is a, I guess this is the spectrum of helpers, right? This comes right off of Adam Grant, who's an org psychologist. This is a book he co-wrote with the U Michigan professor. There's also TED Talks that you can look up on Give and Take. But this is the quadrants that exist, you know, in their world. And they say that, you know, Dr. Wayne Baker says people will fall somewhere on this spectrum, this quadrant. People who often give but seldom ask for help are in the top left quadrant. You're a generous giver. You're well regarded, you know, professionally, but you might be less productive because you're always giving help, right? And then the top right corner, we'll do that one last. People who are well regarded by their peers but are often less productive, right? Because they spend their time helping others and they don't ask for what they need. And I know I've lived there before. You know, everybody has like little facets of this in their work life. The bottom right quadrant are for folks who do the exact opposite. They are quick to ask for help, but they do not help others often. And the bottom left quadrant are the isolates, people who neither ask for help nor offer it to others, which makes them substantially less productive than their collaborative peers. And finally, the top right is where Dr. Baker says you need to be in order to be the most productive team member, and what he calls a giver requester. And these people are both quick to help others and good at asking for help themselves when they need it. And you can see in the column on the right the many benefits of being a giver requester. You know, you might get promoted more quickly, be paid better, be promoted at a younger age. I guess they said that twice. But improve your reputation, you're knowledgeable, and you're trusted among your colleagues. And so we'll go to the next slide, what it looks like in practice.
You're muted, Julie. Sorry. The reciprocity ring was used at PricewaterhouseCoopers, and the graph on the left shows what the kind of help giving and receiving help looked like prior to the ring. And so you can see there's examples of people that were on that little graph that Elena just talked about, the isolates, the givers. But then after the ring, it provided and was an impetus for everybody to start coordinating with each other. So that's like a network analysis that the platform was able to do. So there's much more cohesive network of connections were made. And so this platform we're going to show you is the result and the response to the research done by Adam Grant, and his research is in this book, Give and Take. And then Dr. Baker from University of Michigan, they came together and they created this platform to try to help with the dilemma of lots of people want to help, but not very many people ask. So this platform gives the opportunity for all of us to ask for help and all of us to see where help is needed and to offer help if we can. It fosters a kind of collaboration and connections on an ongoing basis. And this event is going to give you all access to the Givitas platform for 30 days so that you can take part in this, and it'll be the 26 of us that are here today will all have access to this Givitas platform where you can make those connections and collaborations with maybe people you didn't know that could help, and maybe you can help people you didn't know you could help. Okay, so I'm gonna start by showing you a video tutorial of how you're going to log on and create your username password, or your password really, for this Givitas platform. Does anybody want to say anything or have any questions before I show the video?
It's about 30 seconds long, y'all. And I have dropped the link in the chat in case you want to like follow along.
Thank you, Elena.
Thank you for participating in the virtual Reciprocity Ring. The virtual Reciprocity Ring is powered by our platform Givitas, which will allow you to exchange offers of help with your fellow participants remotely. When taking part in a virtual Reciprocity Ring, the first thing that you'll need to do is set up your account in Givitas. To do so, paste the URL that your event leader has provided you into your web browser. This will take you to our registration screen, which you can see here. Next, enter your email address into the box provided and click on Get Started. You can also sign up using a LinkedIn account or a Google email address. You'll then be required to enter your first name, last name, and a password for the Givitas community. Once you've done that, click the blue Join Now button. You'll then be asked if you want to add a recovery phone number to your account. This is not required, but optional if you think you may.
Sorry.
Thank you for participating in your web browser. This will take you to our registration or a Google email address.
My bad.
You'll then be required to enter your first name, last name, and a password for the Givitas community. Once you've done that, click the blue Join Now button. You'll then be asked if you want to add a recovery phone number to your account. This is not required, but optional if you think you may forget your password. Givitas will then send you a verification email. Open the email and click on the Click to Verify button. Enter the email address and the password that you just created for your new Givitas account. Once you've entered that information, click Sign In. You're now registered for Givitas and ready to participate.
Okay, I think that was the end of the video, but I clicked something and then the video stops every time. Sorry. I'm off my game in the morning.
This happens with the embedded videos. It's totally
Yeah,
normal.
I'm sorry. My brain.
It's all good. It's all
Okay.
good, Julie.
Thanks. All right, I'm going on to the next one. So actually, Elena, are we gonna give them a second to sign up?
Yes, go ahead and
Yeah.
I would click on the link that's in the chat and go ahead and, in the next slide or so, it should have an email sent to your email for you to just verify. So we'll do that now. We'll have some elevator music or some Vampirina in the background. If you know what that is, it's like a Disney show, Disney Junior. It's funny.
Vampirina?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
Vampirina ballerina.
Yeah. It's based on a book, and I was like, what is this? And
it's super
we
cute.
like to,
So
I'm like super impressed.
Click on the link and sign up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go in and check my own. So I'm gonna have it up in my browser also, just from when we get there.
I checked mine again this morning.
Yeah. I'm gonna get there.
I'm wondering, I have a question while we're all doing this.
Mm-hmm.
On one of the slides that you shared, Julie, there were a lot of corporate businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So, you shared with us this is a corporate model. And I was just wondering about the impetus of how you all found the Reciprocity Ring or the Givitas platform.
Good question. So actually, and we didn't mention the schools that are using it, but A&M, like the banner flagship A&M, they use this platform because they're like so diverse and they have so much going on. And when I saw like they showed us their portal, I was all, oh my goodness, like it could really work. So mostly, Adam Grant is an org psychologist. And because although we're not like a business or, privately owned company, right, it's still, we operate as a business, right? Like that there are like crossovers, but I really follow Adam Grant, and I think I got on to him through the Malcolm Gladwell books. If you've ever heard of the like Outliers or the Tipping Point, and so they're kind of dueling org psychologists, but this is the best practices of people who communicate, like what is good communication, and they really drive that. But that's what I was thinking about.
Alba mentions in the chat that she's getting an unknown error. Is anybody else getting a problem? We can, I can help you at the end, Alba.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I've tried it twice now.
Huh.
Oh, you have to use your Gmail?
Yeah, I just did it with my Gmail account and it went through.
You don't have to, Alba. You should be able to do it with your Alamo EDU.
Okay.
I did it with my Alamo, and so then you'll register, right? And then you'll go into the email address you provided and wait for the confirmation verification email. You click on that, and then you'll be in.
Several people are saying that they're having success, so that's good news. I'm not sure.
Hi. Helena, I was going to ask a question. It's Janelle. I was able to get in, but I guess, I don't know if you're going to share this a little further on, just knowing if this platform is something that is used. I know you mentioned about silos, but is this something the companies and best practice used collectively, or did they use it amongst their own departments, divisions? Or is this something that the platform is used to share amongst everybody in the organization, so that way they could filter and see if there's something, or I'm just kind of curious as to how this platform works.
So each of these businesses or colleges are their own little platform, right? Or the name of it is Givitas, but this is our own portal. This is Palo Alto College portal. And so within Palo Alto College, all the units and departments inside of it could go in and start asking and giving help. Does that answer your question? Yes.
Can I add to that? Yeah,
Perfect.
I think, I was going to add to what Janelle was, another thought is that it just depends on the organization too, how they choose to use it. It could be, I think I read something like in one big company, it was just the sales team that was using it. I mean, a huge company with lots of salespeople. In some universities, it's just a certain area. It just depends on, how the organization chooses to use it, how many people they invite to join. But for our purposes, for the first 30 days, it'll be the 27 of us that are in here. And then after the 30 days, we want to get your feedback to see if it's something we want to try to continue and open up to more folks on our campus.
We'll go to the next slide.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this is the link that Elena shared, and you all had a chance to create your username. You can continue to keep trying if you haven't been successful. Hopefully, we'll move on. And we're going to talk about how to make a good request for help. Because I think Elena mentioned that, when she passed somebody in the hallway and they said, who made those t-shirts for you? And then they never ended up reconnecting. That's kind of what happens to us. But the platform allows us to take a pause and really write out what we're asking for. And I think you've all seen the SMART acronym before. It's adjusted a little bit to this context, but writing a request, it's important to make a well-formulated one. And so you can use these criteria in SMART to help you. The request should be specific. What you're going to do, when, where. It should be meaningful and important to you. And this is a critical piece of asking for help that's often left out. We'll show you some examples that build in the meaningful part. It should be actionable, like something that can really happen and take place and can be done. And it should be real, a real need. But it can be a big need or a small need. It doesn't have to be, you know, gigantic. It can be just little things that you ask, but as long as it's a real need that you have. And then the request should be time bound. There should be, you know, you need to let, within your request, let people know when you need to have this done by. And so the other thing we want to mention here is not to prejudge the capabilities of this group, because help can come from unexpected places. So that's the exciting part. And we'll also show you some other examples of that. So the more you narrow it down, the more specific you get in the request, the easier it is for someone else to fulfill the request. So I think that's all for that.
So what information do you need when you make this request? You know, we know the parameters, the SMART parameters, but writing a request can be difficult for many people who don't often ask for help. And you're going to say like, Elena, I went out on a limb this time. I asked for help and then nobody helped me. So what do you need? You're going to figure out things. We are used to figuring out things on our own, and we're not reaching out to others when we need something usually, you know. But here's a list of some topic ideas that you may need to ask for help with. You know, you might need a referral. You know, does anybody know a good pool builder? And then I'd be like, oh, Julie, you just had a pool built. You know, if I didn't know that. Advice or support, a second set of eyes. So I might say like, you know, I'm just really not confident with this. You know, Alba, can you look at my art? You know, is this art to you? So go ahead and we'll go to the next slide.
I really like the one about advice or support. You know, it may not be a connection or something, but you just need some feedback on something you're thinking about doing.
It's true. And so if you're not sure what to ask for, you can ask for personal and professional. So I don't want you to think that we exist in a vacuum, you know, that we're only asking for professional things because that's all we are and that's all we do. That's not all we are, and we aren't what we do, right? That's like one of those biggest lies, right? So if you have a personal need, you know, health or fitness, a family need, you know, spiritual need, a community need, and we'll again show you some examples of how to ask, right, if you're comfortable asking. And then professional needs, job, career, business. You know, it might be that you're beginning manager and you're like, I don't know what to do. This person doesn't want to come in on Saturday. I told them they're going to have to come in on Saturday sometimes. So, you know, not sure what to ask for. We'll go to the next slide.
Office space.
And so here's some prompts. It's very X to Y by when, right? I'm currently working on, I don't know, writing a book. And I could really use some help to edit my chapters. Or, you know, one of my urgent tasks is to make sure people have food, you know, food insecurity. And I need people to sign up to help me give out food at these events, right? One of my biggest challenges in life is to you know, lose weight or something. And I need advice on, you know, how I can not dedicate 4 hours a day to working out. Like, how can I balance that, right? You get the idea. So we'll go to the next slide. And here's a bad request. Here's what a lot of people do, right? It says, I need some volunteers to review a report for me. Well, what it would look like is, you know, I'm working on a new version of our quarterly report for the management team. And the goal of revising this report is to make it easier and more efficient for our team to complete. And I need 3 to 5 people that can spend approximately 1 hour reviewing the new report and providing their feedback. And I can send the reports right away and need feedback in the next 5 days. So you've already like outlined it for folks. How long are they committed to helping you? What are the parameters of the help? It's very specific. Here's another one. Oh, I like this one. I need a dog sitter. Can someone watch my dog? So I have the most adorable golden retriever named Sadie that I rescued 3 years ago. She's my world and she's a very high needs dog. She hates kennels because of her life before I adopted her. I'm going on a trip abroad the first week in August, and I was joking, I'm going on a trip abroad to my kitchen, and I need a reliable and experienced pet sitter to care for Sadie. Does anyone have a recommendation? And you might be surprised. Someone will be like, actually, I am a vet tech, and we need to have dogs for the students to look at. And if you want to drop her off with us, etc.
I really like this one because it shows you that meaningful aspect, because it kind of explains a little bit why this is so meaningful to you, the request.
And so here's like a more hitting home example, right? So me personally asking, me here, not Adam Grant or Dr. Baker. And I would say, I'm working on our third or PAC's third First Generation Day, third annual First Generation Day, which celebrates first generation students. And I've found that the most popular sessions are those given by professors. I'm looking for approximately 6 to 10 professors who might be willing to share their experience being a first generation college student on the day of this event. Would anyone be willing to share their story? It's scheduled for November 2021. So that is telling you, exactly what I need, and why I need this, willing to share.
Specific, meaningful, actionable, real, time-bound.
Right.
Yeah. And I put one in there about the TLC webinar series that we're going to continue it this semester, and I'm recruiting faculty and staff who would like to present a 1-hour webinar to colleagues in an area of expertise and that aligns with one of the 4 TLC organizational pillars. I list the pillars and I list the times of the webinars and I list the dates. I guess the one thing I'm leaving out is my contact information, but I think you do that through the platform. So we were trying to give you real examples of what Elena and I might post as professional examples into Givitas. But we do want to let you know that we would love for you to also put personal requests into the platform as well. We're open to you including personal and professional.
Right. And we've seen this slide before, but when someone asks you for help, you can also give help in any of those ways, right? You can be the second set of eyes, the outside perspective, that you can provide an introduction, email introductions. You may have an answer and you may not have an answer. But as you can see, this is not an exhaustive list of the kind of help that you can give. You might think that you might be the only one when they come to you, you're going to have the answer. But you can just say, I am not the expert on career, but Natalie Rojas does have that expertise, and let me just write you an email, an introductory email. So referring people to those who might be better able to help, that is a help in itself. So here are the cool, the next cool offers.
These are actual things that were posted into Givitas from other organizations.
Yeah. So this is a professional request. My team is growing and we're tackling multiple projects where we're teamed up in different areas. But what process or method have you found successful in keeping track of everyone's status and project progress? I need your help in the next 2 weeks. So he got 3 different offers of help. And the first offer being, I use the program Trello. So they just tell them, this is what I use. It's a great way to track the progress. Another offer of help said, I have a great Excel document that I've created and I'll send you the template. That's nice. The third offer of help says, I put a big sheet of paper on the wall and the right side being the end date, milestone dates on a timeline in between. He has Post-it notes that he color codes and, hands out to persons on the team. And then everybody can see it. Everyone can know who is doing what. So you're like, okay, well, that was very insightful. But here's the next one on personal request.
Mhm.
Yeah. Here's a personal request, which is really cool. So this person says, it has been a lifelong dream of mine to see a Bengal tiger in the wild, and I am not getting any younger, so the sooner the better. If anyone has a connection or knowledge of the best way to go about this, I would greatly appreciate it in helping fulfill this dream. They also got 3 offers of help. And someone says, I know someone who owns a game preserve in Nepal, and I'm not sure if they have a Bengal tiger, but I will provide you his contact information. The next offer of help says, I used to be a safari guide in India, and I will connect you with the company I used to work for. I highly recommend them. And the third offer of help says, I just returned from Bangladesh. I can recommend to you the resort we stayed on, and they had several safari options to see tigers. And so it's worth noting that a few months later, this banker did in fact see a Bengal tiger as a result of an offer that he was given in the Reciprocity Ring that day. So you might not think people have connections, but again, don't prejudge the depth of experience, right, of others. So, you never know. Go to the next one.
So,
Okay, it's time to make a request. It's exciting. And so, does anybody want to try and do you need help formulating the smarter criteria, or do you feel like, let me just throw one out there? Any throw one out example?
Let's give everybody like a minute to think about a request, or maybe jot it down on a piece of paper.
Yeah, let's do that. So we'll leave this slide up so you kind of know how to frame it, and then we'll do it in the platform. So we'll have it transferred.
Joseph's already got 2 requests in the platform.
Yay!
Take your time though.
Julie?
Yes.
Miss Alba's calling you.
It's not working for me, so I'll just listen.
It just opened for you, Alba?
It's not working for me.
She needs the link to the
Let me drop it
Reciprocity
again.
Ring, Zoom meeting again, and I can't get to it with the way that my presentation is set up. Is there any way you can get her the link to that's on the convocation schedule to the Reciprocity Ring, to this event?
Yes, I
She
think
can
so.
access the event from a different computer.
Let me see. You might have to.
Hold it, I think I got it. Let me try it now.
Sorry, Alba.
I just noticed that there's polls in there. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's another way to ask for help, like to ask people what they think about a specific question. Yeah.
That's great for, especially as indecisive as I am.
Does anybody want to share a request? Like Elena and I shared a couple professional requests of our own. Does anybody want to share what they have submitted into the platform or are thinking about submitting to the platform? You can unmute.
I'll go.
Great, thank you.
I stated I am currently working on an art project and I could use help in promoting my artwork. You want me to repeat it?
Oh, that's perfect. You could use help in promoting. I bet
Right.
there's going to be people already who would be like, I know some people. What's great is that this sort of captures this captures that hallway talk. Instead of like, I know some people, I can actually write like, hey, my former realtor and church choir, member friend, she has an art gallery and they always send me these things and here's where they're located. Isn't that cool?
I would have never, I think it's cool also because we get to know everybody a little bit better based on what they're requesting. Elena and I did some the professional ones are a little bit more straightforward because I'm in the TLC and she's working with first gen, but we don't know the specifics of all the projects we're all working on or the things that are going on personally that we may need assistance with.
But I'm looking at the two requests that Joseph put in, and what I like about them is that they're really specific in that it details how often that he would like these individuals to meet. He says members meet 2 to 3 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes when we're asked to volunteer or for our help, we're not given that scope and we're not given those specifics of, I think it would make a big difference for me when I am asked to volunteer if I knew when am I expected to meet and how often. So kudos to JC for being very specific.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the next slide now because it really, let's say you formulated what you may want, right? And so you should go into the platform now and transfer your thought into it, right?
Yeah.
So
this video just shows you the mechanics of entering your request into the platform. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Joseph figured it out, but we'll watch the video.
The first step of the virtual reciprocity ring is to make a request for help. To do this, you will click on the blue Ask for Help tab. You'll be taken to this screen where you'll form your request for help. First, give your request a title. Next, enter the details of the request into the box below. You can attach files, embed hyperlinks, YouTube videos, or even use emojis. You can also make your request a poll if there's something that you'd like your fellow participants to vote on. You also have the option to add hashtags if you'd like. Finally, you'll be required to enter a due date for your request.
Oh my God. Sorry.
I've learned that if you click anywhere else for any reason on your computer when an embedded video is playing, that it just will not.
Also make
I'm
your
very
request
sorry.
a poll if there's something that you'd like your fellow participants to vote on. You also have the option to add hashtags if you'd like. Finally, you'll be required to enter a due date for your request, which lets your fellow participants know when you need their help by. Once you've entered all of the required fields, you'll just hit Submit Request to publish your ask to the group.
So glad.
It's so empowering. Thank you for providing the insights. It certainly makes a difference, I'm sure, in our lives positively.
Thank you.
Yay,
Thanks,
thank you.
Rose.
Thank you, Teresa. I'm so glad you had a good time.
Yeah, me too. I might send you all the link to the survey so you can give feedback just on this session so we have some record of it if you don't mind. I'll just send it and then you'll just select the reciprocity ring from the drop-down menu like you've been doing the other sessions. Any final thoughts?
Just a big thank you guys. This was really helpful. You know, like Rose mentioned, our students really struggle with knowing how to ask for help.